A down low narcissistic man lives in a constant psychological war with himself. On the outside, he may have everything a normal man is supposed to have: a wife, kids, maybe a decent job, friends, and a charming personality that wins people over. But behind that mask, he's always drowning. He's not the man he pretends to be. Inside, there is a truth he cannot accept, a truth that he constantly punishes you for. He is the type of a man who hides his true sexual orientation under layers of ego, shame, religion, or maybe social performance. The man who marries a woman out of extreme fear, who uses her as his bear, as a shield. The man who thinks if he follows society's fake script, he'll be fine. But deep down, he knows something is off. I'm Danish, a narcissistic abuse recovery professional. Welcome to my channel. Today, we are talking about one of the most disturbing dynamics I have ever seen. How narcissistic down low men are hypersexual with everyone but you as their partner, and how their shame and self-denial destroy the woman they marry. Stay until the very end because this one is going to be really exciting. A down low narcissist lives a double life. On one hand, he performs the role of a husband. He cracks jokes, shows off his wife. Like I said, he uses you as his beard, pretends everything is okay. On the other hand, he is constantly seeking validation from men, especially from those he subconsciously desires. He spends hours online scrolling through profiles, watching things he will never admit to anyone. He does it because he is fragmented inside. You see, for him, sex is not about intimacy. It is proof that he is normal, proof that he is still the man society expects him to be. He himself expects himself to be. When he sleeps with random women, why does he do that? He does it out of desperation. He is trying to drown his truth with meaningless acts. The acts he's not interested in. When he messes around, he's not making love, he's fighting his own identity. And the tragedy is, no matter how many people he sleeps with, he's never satisfied. Why? Because you can't fill a spiritual void with physical bodies. You can't fix self-hatred with sex. The problem is not you. It's not the woman. It's him. It has been him all along. Now, when the same man gets married, the game becomes darker. He does not see you as a partner. He sees you as a mirror that reflects the life he is pretending to live. And the more you mirror stability, love, and real intimacy, the more you trigger his shame somehow. He starts to resent you. Why? Because you remind him of what he is not capable of feeling and offering. He punishes you by withholding affection, by turning cold, by acting like you are unattractive and unworthy. He'll make comments about your body, your looks and clothes all the time. He'll subtly suggest that you are the problem, that you have gained weight, that you're not the same anymore. What he is actually doing is deflecting. He is hiding his own inability to feel desire for women by blaming you. And the craziest part is he convinces you that something is wrong with you, for real, that you're broken, that you're not enough. As a result of this gaslighting, you may spend years trying to fix yourself by dieting, dressing differently, or crying in silence, all to awaken a man who is sexually dead in that way, who was never emotionally present with you to begin with. In thousands of cases like these, the same story repeats. You become a roommate more than a wife. There is no intimacy for months, sometimes years. The house feels like a cold war zone. You start to feel invisible. You lie in bed next to him, but it feels like lying next to your mortal enemy. He avoids eye contact, vulnerability. If you try to talk about emotions, what does he do? He shuts down or gets irritated. If you try to initiate closeness, he will find excuses like I'm tired, I'm stressed, or I'm not in the mood. But somehow the same man will have all the energy in the world to flirt with people online, secretly so, to message them, chase them, and to perform his masculinity outside the marriage. Why? Because in his mind, You are too close to the truth. You know him very well. The people outside that he says he's not interested in are props, props that allow him to play the straight man role. He's not attracted to women, he's addicted to the illusion they provide. These men are often psychopathically intelligent, maybe articulate and socially polished because they know how to charm. They can talk philosophy, politics, and spirituality, basically anything that makes them appear superior. But beneath that intellect, there is a rotting shame. They grew up in families, religions, or cultures that told them being gay is sinful, disgusting, or unnatural. So, what did they do? They build a psychological wall around that part of themselves. They suppress it, attack, and project it onto others. That's why you will see them express hatred toward gay men. They mock, ridicule, or call them names. Why? Because every insult they throw is a fight against their own reality. They can't stand seeing someone who lives freely because they themselves cannot. Their anger is not moral, it's envy. Deep envy for the courage they will never have. Now, let's get to the core of the issue, their hypersexuality. These men often appear extremely flirtatious, almost obsessed with sex, but not with you. They check out women in public, their eyes wander, they're addicted to dating apps, porn, sexting, you name it. Anything that validates them. But again, it's not desire, it's compulsion. Sex for them is a temporary escape from some sort of guilt. When they feel that crushing sense of shame creeping in, they use sex as anesthesia, psychological anesthesia. All they want to do is they want to feel in control, they want to feel normal, but actually inside they are numb. Even if you do have sex with them, it feels mechanical, it feels like being used for a performance. There is no emotional depth or connection or even warmth. They may be physically there, but I guarantee you, spiritually, they are elsewhere. While they are making love to you, they are thinking about their male friend. And you can feel it. They move like a robot programmed to prove a point, not to be a part of the act. That's because they are not making love to you, like I said. They are trying to win a war against themselves. Another dark layer is their obsession with male approval. I've talked about this before. They chase women not to impress them, but to impress men. Crazy. They want to be seen as desirable, as alpha, and as dominant. Every woman they seduce becomes proof they can still compete in the masculine world they secretly crave approval from. So, what do? They laugh louder around their buddies. They glow when those men compliment them. They text them constantly, seek their validation and attention. That's why some time ago I said all narcissistic men are psychologically gay. This is what I meant by that. But when you praise them as their partner, they feel nothing or they ignore it. That is because everything they do revolves around one hidden agenda, to be accepted by men while hiding their truth from men. It is psychological torture dressed as charm. Many of these down low narcissists come from conservative religious backgrounds where being gay is seen as a curse or a sin. They go to war with their own souls. They marry to prove their righteousness. That's where they sacrifice you. They have children to silence suspicion. They live a lie to keep up appearances. But isn't it crazy? In the pursuit of God's acceptance, they end up hurting so many souls in the process, you, your children, and other people involved. How can such a man be godly? They can do whatever they want to, but you see, guilt does not vanish just because you try to hide it. It mutates and becomes cruelty, ultimately projection. It becomes emotional abuse, which is what you endure. When he looks at you as his wife, he does not see a person. He sees the reminder of everything he cannot be or he cannot do. Every time you express emotion, he is filled with disgust because that reminds him of his own sensitivity he does not want to feel. Every time you want love, he sees neediness because that's not what he's into. He starts punishing you for simply being what he can never authentically experience, and that is real intimacy. Over time, you begin to disintegrate, unfortunately. You feel confused, unattractive, and unworthy. You blame yourself for the lack of connection. What you do not realize is that you are living with a man who is emotionally and sexually available for others because he isolates you, gaslights, and tells you you're overthinking. He will even accuse you of being too sexual or too demanding or emotional because her desire reminds him of his lack of desire. Then you begin to question your sanity. You start thinking maybe all marriages are like this. Maybe over time you lose interest. But that's not the case. You start shrinking as a consequence. You dim your light and you silence your needs. Why? Just to keep peace in a house that has no love left in it. Now, these down low narcissistic men rarely ever change because change would require honesty. And honesty is the one thing they are incapable of. Here, they need a different kind of honesty, which is they need to accept that they are interested in men, sexually speaking, and they just need to tell you the truth. They would rather die than do it because it's a double whammy. Number one, shame associated with being a liar, and then the shame associated with their true identity. Can you imagine that? Which is why they would rather destroy a marriage, break your spirit and your children's spirit as well, and live in denial than admit to have lied to you. Their entire identity is a performance. The good husband, the smart man, the confident leader. To admit the truth would collapse everything, not just them that they have built. And narcissists will do anything to avoid that kind of a catastrophe. Even when they know deep down what they really are, they will keep blaming others. They'll keep seeking distractions. They'll keep fulfilling their needs, but secretly so. Now, this topic is really difficult to talk about because no one talks about the wives of these men. Society blames you, religion may blame you. Even a lot of therapists that I know of sometimes miss the signs. These women are left in the dark. You feel undesirable, crazy, but nobody tells you that it's your husband. You end up living years wondering what you did wrong, never realizing the man beside you is emotionally vacant because he is at war himself. He is split, and it's not your fault. It never was. You can't make someone love you who is busy hiding from themselves, who cannot even accept, let alone love himself. So, if you are with such a man, what you deserve is absolute freedom. Just believe your instincts, your intuition, and go with it. If you want to heal from this kind of an abuse, get ready because I'm opening doors to my Thrive After Narcissistic Abuse membership program very soon. Get on the waiting list, which is in the description. There is where you will find the link. With that, let's bring this episode to an end. I will talk to you in the next one. Until then, as always, let the healing begin and continue.